Citizens of ancient Rome, today I'm going to bring you to the land of Lugdunum in Caesar 3. Oh no, I hear you say, not that mission, the most difficult mission in Caesar 3. Caesar 3, that classic of a game that I think somehow everyone alive in the 90s knows of. Even if you didn't play it, mention Caesar 3 and eyes go aglow with the flickering lights of nostalgia, remembering a time of Tamagotchis, zip disks, and transparent technology. Anyway, Lugdunum may not be the most difficult or challenging mission in the game, but it is positioned perfectly in the single-player campaign to confound and perplex any would-be governor. You're just not ready for it. There isn't even any military invasion. Nothing is coming to kill you. You're just abandoned here in the rugged northern wilderness to fend for yourself. And if you can't figure it out, well then this is now your home. You live here now. And so this was the end of many aspiring town planners who could only dream of becoming a city-building god. Well, the thing about being a god is you tend to have supernatural powers, and today I visit you in the mortal realm to give you the gift of glitchy fire, or more accurately, every exploit and broken mechanic in Caesar 3 to turn this impossible challenge into child's play. There's a lot of knowledge I'm going to bestow upon you today, so you'll have plenty of time to like this video. And if you want to join us on a more permanent basis, you can support through Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member. Thank you. Now, I used to be known as the City Building Doctor, and recently, I decided to leave my isolated sanctuary to go out into the real world. A scary prospect, and the most unexpected thing happened. I met people in person, and one of them said, "Are you the City Building Doctor?" Now, that's a name I had not heard in a long time. But apparently it was memorable enough for some people to still know me as that. So I figured why not lean into it. I am Gamerzak, the City Building Doctor. How do you do? As the City Building Doctor, it's my duty to cure your problems with this seemingly impossible map. Lugdunum has a number of problems. First, there's no good place to build until after a long, narrow path, so traders and immigrants are slow to reach your city. Second, food and resources are difficult to distribute. Farmland is either limited on an island or far away on a cliff. Additionally, despite all the trees covering the landscape, none of them are suitable for chopping down, so you'll have to import timber for furniture. Hard to supply your whole city on that. The third problem is the terrain is just messy, so you can't simply build big housing blocks to keep things organized. Sounds like a challenge, but for me, having already ascended to city-building deity status, this looks like child's play. It's time to bring out my numerous divine powers that I have at my disposal. Okay, so the first thing we have to do to send down from above is animal abuse. Yes, that's right, these wolves, they're gonna cause us some problems, so we have to deal with them quickly. The easiest way is to grab an aqueduct and just trap them. We're gonna trap them in their own little cages for eternity. They will not be going anywhere from here on out. Those wolves trapped forever. We may, if for their own benefit, decide to kill them at some point. Otherwise, no, we're just gonna ignore them. That's it. They're gone. They're trapped away forever. We don't have to worry about them ever again. Okay, now we have to get a bit of a city moving in, and the quickest way would be to set up near the entrance, but, you know, it's fine. We're just gonna head straight into the city and set up something along the lines over here. So let's go ahead and get some low bridges. There's no ships on this map, so let's just get some low bridges to connect all of these areas up so that we can just get this all prepared. We can bridge over there, and we can bridge over there. That way, everything is now connected right off the bat, and we can do a little bit of a housing area here. You know, we do have to do some deforestation. We're here to wreck the environment, basically. So let's go ahead and just have a little bit of a housing area around these rocks. Doesn't have to be too organized. We just need some place for people to move in. But we will just make sure we deforest enough to make sure there's enough room for everyone. And then we'll place down some houses, unpause the game, and get things going. There we go, we've got some lovely new immigrants moving in, and the first people are taking shape. We're running out of money, but don't worry. We'll engage in capitalism in a little bit. We just have to have some people to exploit first. I will be a benevolent god. Or at least I'll call that myself one anyway. So they're just moving in, perfect. They'll live in their little rustic tents, and we just need a bit of a workforce so that we can start making money. But will we sell to the outside world? No. We've got perfectly capable people right here who are the perfect consumers, and these consumers will give us infinite money. That's exactly what we need. Perfect. We've got the workforce we need coming in right now, so let's get to exploiting the locals. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is calm the locals down. If you check how they're feeling, they're not feeling too well. So what we have to do is we need to clear all of their local roads. We're just going to delete everything they have right there, and along with all of their trees to make this easy. And what we need to do is to cover all of them with a missionary post. We just need one person to walk through this land to make them feel a little less hostile, which I think is something we can do. So what we need to do, first of all, is to exploit a little quirk with how these Roman citizens work. So first, let's go ahead and set up. We'll have this as a starting point. A little bit of a road with a gap of 2 and a little bit of a road. This is what we need right here. And then what we need is to have a mission post just about here. That works quite well. And then make sure the road extends nicely. Okay, so the way this works is a little bit quirky. All working buildings of 2x2 size, or larger I think, but all 2x2 buildings, what the workers like to do is they like to spawn on the southern side and they want to return to the northern side. They are programmed to do that. If the road connects, they will simply take the route up to the northern side. However, if you have this break, then they will walk as long as you want across the entire world if it takes to reach the northern side of their building. So now what we do is we go to risks and native, and we just make sure that this road then extends through all of the dangerous areas here, passing by every single house to make sure that this entire village is covered. And we should be able to do that by doing this, and yes, we will go into debt, not too much of a problem, and then we'll return the road over to here, and if we check...
You got through those funds quickly. Try to make these new funds last longer?
Yes, Caesar is a little unhappy, but no big deal. Okay, there we go, and I will actually... yeah, that looks good. So now, if we just have a look, we should be getting a missionary walking out of this, and you'll see that the missionary...
Greetings! My teaching of Rome's benefits seems to be sinking into these rather frightening barbarians.
Yes, and you can see that this one mission post will now cover the entire local village. And what does that mean? Well, this native meeting hut right here, they trade with you. They buy what you sell to the outside world, but they buy it in infinite quantities year-round with no restrictions. How did the locals have so much money? They must have been saving it for generations, and now we're going to take it all from them, now that they are completely pacified. So let's set up a bit of an industry here just to sell everything to the locals. And here is another one of my divine tricks. You see this massive industry for weapons that we are producing? Well, it only needs a few tents. It doesn't even need this many, really. We just need a couple tents, and these buildings here have access to our entire population. That's right, with a few small tents, all these workers cram in around into these industry buildings and these tents, and they live all there. All these workers over here, well, they just magically have access. These tents act as teleportation. So these workers, by divine power, can teleport over to the industry. Now, we are in debt and we don't want to be in too much trouble, so we will continue to go ahead and manufacture weapons and open up a trade route. You see, if you check the world map, there's this trade route here. We can sell weapons to Mediolanum, but not many. It's a very small trade route, right? That's minuscule. That's almost no money a year, which is why we're not going to care about external trade routes. We're going to keep going until we make a bunch of money. So right now we just need a little bit of a weapon supply here, and then we'll start arming the locals, which sounds like a bad idea, but don't worry. They won't use the weapons for anything, they'll just buy an infinite supply of it. And here comes the first shipment of weapons. There we go. And weapons start coming into the warehouse. Perfect. And now, if you see, if we open up a trade route, go to our trade advisor, and begin exporting over 0 units, so sell all the weapons we've got, we'll start to see the locals want to buy said weapons, and it's going to be so profitable. Look at that. They walk out of the native meeting hut, grab weapons, go back home, and they're just going to come back for more. And there's no limit. They will buy as much as there is. Look, they're buying another shipment right now. This is infinite money. This is infinite money on Lugdunum. We're barely into the mission, and we're just going to manufacture infinite weapons to sell to the locals for infinite money. So now, that essentially buys us infinite time, because time is money, and money is time. And with infinite money, we have infinite time. It's just a logic. And where do they keep these weapons? Another divine trick from me. And look at our money begin to skyrocket. Because money is going to not be an issue, we can set our taxes to 0 or just never tax anyone. And we can increase our wages to 8 just to make sure 8 over Rome, just to make sure everyone is very happy at all times. So it doesn't matter how much we exploit the people of this land. Bread and circus, that's all they need, and they'll be happy with us. Alright, now to move on to the next phase of our conquering of Lugdunum. Okay, so here we are on the high ground farmland, and this farmland right here is very far away. It's a bit of a problem, because even if you were to build farms right here, and they were stored in a granary right there, trying to get the food down from this cliff, moving all the way over here, and then feeding people down here, it's just not efficient. What you want to do is actually just build a housing area up here. But there's a problem. Getting water up there is a little bit of an issue. We could have a reservoir here, but that doesn't really cover as much as we wanted to. We can have a reservoir there, which will bring water over from here, which we will then connect up, because it is good to have water from this side. However, that it doesn't cover as much as ideally it would, right? So let me just bring this water over to this side so that we do have some water coverage on this side. And we can see, yep, up there. However, on this side, there's another special ability we can do. I'm going to build a reservoir right here. Oh, that is my bad. We accidentally blocked the road to Rome. Let's make sure that that doesn't happen. And now let's build a reservoir right here. And you can see through my divine engineering, we can go ahead and build a reservoir, build aqueducts over these roads like this, and the water does magically transport. Now this is just a great way to save space on this narrow road. Do we have to do this? No, there are wolves. Wolves escaped? Which wolves escaped? Oh no. The road to Rome was blocked, and therefore all my wolf trappings were destroyed. The wolves are free. All aqueducts were destroyed in the process. Oh, well, this is going to be a little bit of a concern. Let's build a barracks and let's build a javelin fort, because we're going to need to do that. For now, the wolves will just continue to ravage our people, but not too much of a concern, right? It's not too much of a concern. We can... They'll just kill people. It's fine. They'll be fine. Ignore the screams of the citizens. Now, I was continuing my architectural project here. Who needs to cut down these trees when you can just build an aqueduct through the road? Ah, wonderful. And this brings the aqueduct up to about this point where it would be ideal to have a reservoir. So we can stick a reservoir right here and make sure that connects up to our special road project. There we go, aqueduct. And now we have water access from that side. I will reconnect this aqueduct as well. We're currently not making as much money as we need because, well, our people are being eaten by wolves. But not too much of a concern. It's fine. It's fine. There we go. So now we bring this reservoir up, and now we can see this whole area is covered by water access. So this is now a great place to build a housing area and to feed it with farms that are right next to it. Building on top of farmland. It's probably not the most efficient thing to do with food, but on this map, it's going to be a great way to just have a nice, lovely hilltop housing area. So let's go ahead and set up a housing area here and feed the people and get things going. Wonderful. Oh, it seems the wolves are now murdering all the immigrants, so I think it is time to deal with them. So much carnage, so much destruction. We have trapped them on this island, but that means the immigrants are trapped with them as well. So I think it's time to wipe out these wolves. The wolves, I think, ate an entire village. Anyway, here we go. Wiping out the wolves. That pack is no longer a threat, and to continue the animal abuse, the trapped wolves who are desperately trying to escape, well, unfortunately, I am granting them mercy. And that's the end of that. And that means at this point there is no more use for any military on this map, which means, unfortunately for these javelin soldiers, I too am granting them mercy. And they will all be murdered. The request for meat. That is something that can be dealt with. There we go. They're gone. So things are nice and clean. Our hilltop village is starting to come together. Most of the immigrants were just destroyed by the wolves, so we are going to wait for that to replenish. We will go ahead and get some of these things going. Some room for farmland there. We'll need people to move in. For that request for meat, here is a little trick that I like to do. I like to have a pig farm right here on the low ground. Just to keep things separate, because I don't plan to have any meat being distributed to people. They can live off bread, and I will just provide a single doctor and a single engineer's post to make sure everything continues to run smoothly here. And we just need one warehouse right here to allow an accepting of meat. And this will slowly build up the supply required to provide Caesar with the meat they need. And as you can see, a single tent provides access to the entire population. There are 10, 16, 21, 26 employees needed here. And this tent is holding 5 people, but somehow everyone is there. That's all you need to do. By the way, the map did change to open up a new trade route, but as you can see, we're earning more money than we can spend. So you can see with these 10 weapons workshops, we still can't fill up this warehouse because it's just being bought so heavily. The caravan does eventually make it over. They get a couple pieces, but that's about it. This is our cash cow, the local people, just buying up infinite weapons. So now this is moving in. We're getting some unemployment. We can actually feed these people and begin evolving our city into the next level of housing, which would be a good idea, considering that is what we have to do. And there we go. That should be plenty of farms to get this granary filled, and then we can get this housing area evolved. Perfect. Using up just the right amount of employment, but I think more people will be moving in anyway. And yeah, this should be pretty straightforward from this point on. The wolves are gone, the natives are pacified, we have infinite money, and now we just need to evolve things. And I've been using many tricks to get this working as easily as possible. I find building the first proper housing area up on this hill a good idea because it's just, you know, if you build it later, you kind of feel bad or feel like it's inefficient building on the farmland, but honestly, building this housing area first and evolving that first gets you much closer to your target population, and then you'll see that reaching the rest is pretty straightforward. And the Imperial Dispatch is ready for the meat, so let's just send that off. As you can see, this will just continue to stockpile meat. Now, I've set up this area down here with just the small amount of houses so that we can begin producing pottery. Now, what we want to do is to have pottery stored up right here on the corner. Allow this to only accept pottery. Set that to accepting so that we can begin setting up a large pottery industry. So we're gonna need a whole bunch of clay pits. Many clay pits. Let's start with 5, and then that will allow us to go for many potters. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this will be a massive pottery industry. You can see quite a lot of unemployment is going to come in from that as these buildings become functional. However, these houses have become small casas, and there's much room for many people to move in. As you can see, they're slowly making their way through our magical road aqueduct, and they will eventually move in and get to where they need to be. We don't need to worry about these tent plebs down there. Don't worry about them. Money is still flowing in perfectly. Tons of food as well. So we can definitely support quite a large population just in this block. Might actually be able to squeeze in a few more houses, I think. And I will provide them with other necessities, like this barber. Yes. Does that fountain reach? I think just for stability's sake, I will put down another fountain and garden this up, because might as well. We'll get these houses nicely evolved. We've squeezed in a few more houses. I might destroy a house if we need more services, it's okay. I also have this warehouse at the back here. Currently too few people to work there, but this warehouse will be getting pottery. Right? It'll be getting pottery to bring it over to the side to feed this area with pots. And that's all they're gonna need. Pottery is all that we're providing to houses if we are giving them food. We are not going to give any furniture to any of our plebs. That is not going to be done. Meanwhile, we can just go ahead and drop our salary. I forgot about that. We don't need to be making this much money. We can send a large gift, and we already are at the favor we need to win this mission. So that's one goal down already. We're not stressing too much here, really. I mean, we could even put more of our employment into weapons to make even more money, but I'm not going to be too concerned about it. As you can see, some things have stopped working because we are so short on workers. The wolves slaughtering an entire village did put a damper on things, but here we go. Some immigrants are just about making it. And we evolved these houses so quickly, they're barely occupied. We really just have to wait until enough immigrants make it into the city. One other reason why I wanted to set up this block of houses first as well is because it does take a long time for workers, like immigrants, to reach this area. So the earlier we set this up, the better, and it fills up quite nicely. All right, so once more people move in, we'll easily be able to bring pottery over. It's already set up. Once pottery is produced, it will be brought over, and that will evolve the houses further, and everything should be ship-shape. We can then go ahead and set up another housing area to just bring in even more people. Alright, here we go. We've got this second housing area being set up as we speak. Furniture is starting to come in, employment is starting to stabilize, money is staying at a consistent 5,000 despite how much we're trying to use it up. This area here is still waiting on pottery, which should be, there we go, it's starting to be brought over. Another trick that we need to know is that a warehouse set to getting can get from warehouses that are set to accepting, and they do not need a road connection. And there we go, pottery has been brought over to the distant cliffs of this town, and that way pottery can now be distributed, and you can see things are beginning to evolve up to small insula. And that's where we really want to be. They now require furniture, and we're not going to provide it to them. And as you can see, we also, another divine trick of ours, this amphitheater and this theater, you may notice there are no actor colonies or gladiator schools. They're not required. They send out the walkers anyway. Now, we might need them for our culture rating later on, but even then we might not need them. But as you can see, this is bringing everything up to small casa. Another request for meat, which we just have a nice steady supply of, and you can see that this is going to be small insula in no time. And with those employees, we can now evolve this area down here, which we can go ahead and provide the other basic amenities before I forget them, like a school and some baths, like that, and we can even squeeze in more houses here, because why not? And that should be good. I think they have everything they need, which means... Oh, I can also just go ahead and provide them a barber because, you know, just keep their health going, keep their health up, you know. We can then just garden up, make sure they have a nice little space to live. There we go. Nice, wonderful. Can't complain, can you, with all these gardens? There we go. Now we just need to get some food down here. Pottery easy, because it's just grabbed from over there. You can see I am not connecting the pottery area by road to anything. This is a completely isolated area. Makes it easy for us to control the supply of pottery through warehouses set to getting, which grab 4 at a time. And there we go. 2,000 citizens for the first time in history. So this is where we can begin exploding our population, right? Let's set up a bunch more farmland, just a lot of wheat farms, and we can get some things going here. We do need, remember, to squeeze in a house so that all the farms can actually function. There you'll see our new housing block is beginning to evolve, but it seems like some aren't quite enjoying their surroundings. So I think it's time we plaza it up. Let's plaza up everything. That's right, increase the desirability, make sure everyone lives in the lap of luxury, and even the locals. I'm not forgetting you guys, I'm not forgetting you all. See, our iron mines and our weaponsmiths and the local trading hut is going to be plazaed up. Also, let's go ahead and do it over here as well, just for fun. You know, there we go. You don't really need it, but we're gonna do it anyway. Alright, so looking at that, these houses are evolving quite nicely. We do need some more food. More food is streaming on down. These farms supply into this granary, and this granary is getted from this granary. So remember, getting food, granaries need a road connection, warehouses do not. So you can see pottery gets over there, but for this granary here, we do need to have this connected by road. A little clever placement goes a long way. So, food is coming in. This is gonna greatly, vastly increase our population, probably close to what it needs to be, actually. Though there does seem to be some desirability problems. So remember, when it comes to desirability, statues are better for desirability then gardens. So you can see as I replace those gardens with statues, everything begins evolving. Ah, perfect. So what we're gonna do is with these, this new increased population, we're gonna have tons of people to serve the rich. That's right, the next portion is gonna be about giving the 0.1% everything. Oh dear. Entertainment is a bit of a problem, right? Because we're just a little bit too efficient, I think. So let's go ahead and... So this is a trick that you need to get used to. If your population gets too high and you just don't have enough entertainment venues, things start falling apart. But as you can see, if I just go ahead and throw down some theaters, everything evolves. Everything goes right back on up. 'Tis silly, but 'tis the way it is. Alright, so now with all these people moving in, I want to set up the 0.1% area. And I think this area right here, this island, is gonna be suitable. So let's completely obliterate the environment on that island. That's right, not a single tree is left. It is all gonna be for the rich. And we're going to set up a small housing area here, just so that we can get 4 or 6 villas. And that's all we're gonna need, because you can see our prosperity is not gonna hit its target with just these small insula. Remember, we're not giving any furniture to the plebs. They will sit on the floor. If need be. If they do need to sit, you know, with the way we're working them, maybe they don't sit at all. Alright, I will go away and set up our new luxury housing area. Okay, welcome back, my Zacolytes, and here you can see our population continues to grow as we throw down plenty of resources and services for the soon to be 0.1%. There's room for 6 villas here, plenty of statues and gardens for them to roam about in as they do nothing all day, a few farms to get things going, 3 granaries, multiple warehouses, all here to just suck up the goods of the world and distribute it to very few people. So one thing we have to do is open up this second trade route to do that, and then we need to begin importing everything. So let's begin importing oil, importing vines. We are already importing timber. You can see I set up a furniture industry right here, importing the timber in, converting it into furniture just for these people. I did prepare an area down here to begin producing oil, but it seems like I actually don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do is, first I'm going to set this one to accepting wine, this one to accepting vines, and we actually don't need the other 2. And then we just have to throw down some wine workshops. So let's go ahead and get a number of those available, just to produce wine for the only people in the city which will drink wine. We are also beginning to bring in... I created a road connection here to bring wheat down into this area, which means I can focus on meat production on this island with 3 pig farms. It's okay, they can't see these pig farms from over there. Also, I was going to have some resources there, but actually what we need to do is to leave that room open to squeeze in a coliseum. There are more efficient ways to do this, but bam, there we go. A coliseum. This should do well for improving the culture of our city. 3 pig farms should be able to supply enough meat to these villas over here, but you know, just to make things a little bit more stable, what we can do is we can break this road. No, wait, let's not do it there. Let's just throw down a granary up here. And maybe a couple meat farms. Right? No, this seems like a terrible idea. What am I doing? Let's not do that. Let's just go ahead and convert this into a granary right here. So we'll have a granary right here. And this is just set to accepting meat. And then I can convert maybe some of these farms into pig farms, because we actually don't need that many wheat farms here. Ah. The entertainment for the masses. Men fighting each other and then eaten by 4 lions. That is what passes for entertainment these days. Okay, so that just brings in some more meat into this area, and to stabilize this, let's go ahead and squeeze in a couple houses, and for safety, an engineer's post. And you know what? A doctor, why not? Let's do that. Perfect. Okay, so unemployment is still continuing to climb. What do these houses need? Oh, yes, I forgot their hair. Their hair is expanding exponentially. Let's give them a barber. Of course they need a barber. What am I doing? Also, let's just fill in any spare gaps with gardens, because you never know how grumpy rich people can be when they don't get their gardens. So yes, this can all be gardens. Good, perfect. Just to check, we can import some marble, but I'm not sure, I don't think we need to. I was thinking of doing some oracles, but I don't think we need to do that. Our population is still continuing to grow. With just these 2 housing blocks, we might actually come very close to our target population. So right now, all we need to do is use up that population in some entertainment. So let's just go ahead and create a little area over here. And this is going to be our culture block. All we need is 1 set of houses, an engineer's post, a doctor, and then we will expand our culture significantly. So let's do schools, let's do libraries, let's do gods. Gods do count towards culture. Also keeps them happy. And then let's do theaters. And then let's do some amphitheaters. And that should be plenty for the culture. I also just realized I do not have an amphitheater over on this side. And not an amphitheater, an academy on this side. So I think I can go ahead and replace this with an academy. Academies are good for desirability, and they need the education. I mean, they're not doing anything else all day, might as well go to university. Oh, we just have so much pottery here. Yes, this market, I think, is struggling. So I think to help stabilize this market... Is this market... Oh, this market has gone to some distant land, I think. To help stabilize this block, I will go ahead and... That's my engineer's post. Let's clear that and have another market here. I have allowed my market lady to stray, I think. What would the market lady be going for? Oh, I see. Right, yes. They're going for the furniture. I forgot we should not be allowing the plebs to access our furniture, right? These evolved to medium insula. They got furniture. Yo, no. You're not allowed chairs. Oh, landslides, no traders. Not any concern of mine. I accidentally set up my furniture industry here, which is connected by road to this housing block there. That is a mistake on my part. I've accidentally allowed some furniture to be smuggled in, so we need to separate that to make sure these markets maintain the supply. Now, what do you all need? Oil. Ah, yes. So I do have... I have not set an area to get oil, and I need to set this to getting wine. I forgot. We could not set these earlier. So oil is only going to come in once those landslides end. Ah, yes, I forgot. We're not just selling things now, we are importing. So we need the resources. This area here will restabilize soon enough now that I've cut off their furniture supply. That's rather annoying, but it'll come back into balance soon, yes, hopefully. Also, why is that road there? We don't need this road here, right? Yeah, we don't need that there. Okay, market ladies, get back to doing your job. Yes, come on, grab the food. It's right here. Just grab the wheat. Are they grabbing wheat from there? Alright, fine. Just bring the wheat back, please and thank you. There we go. Okay, that should solve that problem. Now we just need to get all our foreign resources in, and then we can go ahead and grab our villas. You can see our culture from this culture block has skyrocketed to far beyond what we need. And we're actually suffering from quite a bit of lack of employment because of this house devolution. So I think I will go ahead and undo some of our culture endeavors here. And those will return once the people return. Okay, let's proceed.
Oh, these baskets are so heavy. I'm taking fresh supplies back to my market.
Those fresh supplies being wine. It's time to get drunk. Well, for the 0.1% anyway. Villas are abound. Ah, wonderful. They want greater health provisions. Oh yes, a hospital, of course. Rich people don't want to suffer. I think that actually fits in quite nicely. That should function perfectly well. Evolving these houses to their 3x3 status, you can see our housing area here has returned, and people are beginning to move back in. That will solve itself soon. We are currently short on workers because these plebeians have become patricians, and patricians don't do no work. Patricians, they just laze about in the gardens and parks around their city. Okay, so what do they need now? The health provision. Let me just check. Is this hospital functioning? It is, which means if I check our... Oh, there they go. Off they evolve. They need more entertainment, which I'm unsure if we absolutely need to do, but I will... Oh, we're importing so much now. Things are actually beginning to cost quite a bit of amount of money. So I think to stabilize our money supply, I can squeeze in somewhere. Well, we don't need 3 of these. I will go ahead and continue my attempts at capitalism here to tax the rich just so they can give me what I want. 12% tax rate, that should give us quite a significant sum. It's just importing all these goods is rather expensive. Particularly the oil, I think, is what's hitting our supply the hardest. Okay, so now with this in line and these houses evolving, we could attempt to do a Hippodrome to get some of these houses evolved. I need to do this in a slightly clever way, because there's no way fitting a Hippodrome on this island is going to work. I'm still unsure if we actually need to do it, but we'll see how it goes. We have returned, and I have evicted all of the poor people. That's right, they were holding back my prosperity rating. You know, when we were reporting to the Empire, they were saying we weren't prosperous because all these poor people lived in our city. So all we did was we ejected them all from the city, and now this area is free, just to run some industries, collect up some marble for Caesar's requests and things like that, and maybe for an entertainment culture dump. But we don't need this so much as we have this. Anyway, it's been raising our prosperity, but not quite enough. It is still being held back, so that means we do need to evolve these houses. We have a far huge surplus of money because I taxed my people for a little bit. And now I think what we should do is we should throw down a Hippodrome, and we can pop one right here. No, maybe I can keep this a little bit more efficient and just attach it to this block there. There we go. We have this Hippodrome here, and what we're going to do is we're going to just connect this area by having this road blocked. Then we can have a road extend out this way to connect through here. And to make sure this area does stay stable, I will replace this Mercury Temple and Neptune Temple, just to make sure we can properly gatehouse this, to make sure nothing particularly goes wrong. Also, this does have access to workers. It's taking up a lot of workers. And we just need to... How do I do this? Let's clear this off, and then we can make sure this stays stable by doing this. Connect that up. do not have the chariot maker there. Instead, what we want is to have the chariot maker on this side. So let's throw down the chariot maker. Do I have much room here? I can do this and ensure it's access to workers. And as you can see, I just squeezed in some houses here. We just gentrified the entire local population. This local village, it's now filled with small insula. We needed to replace the poor people who we kicked out. We needed new workers, so we just built some slightly nicer houses just on this road that already existed. You can see we've been using that forced walker technique for some buildings, just to throw a couple markets among the granaries, and everything's a-okay. So now, this chariot is currently going to walk in the wrong direction. You can see it walks down this way, but it doesn't really pass any of our houses, so that's not quite what we want. What we need to do is, I think, make a bit of room here, and then have a chariot maker on this side, and then we could gatehouse here, and then have this extend out like that. And I think that will actually work quite nicely if we could then maybe remove this statue. Oh yes, you're demanding more marble. Just have it. We can extend the road out this way. We can make sure we gatehouse this to keep it stable. And then that villa is devolving because of desirability. We'll see what we can do to fix that. But right now, you can see we're sending a chariot through those villas at least. And oh, these evolved as well. I'm not entirely sure how, but they did, which, large villas, grand villas. Oh, well, this will work out quite nicely. A hippodrome has commenced operations. Your fair city has joined the ranks of the best in all the empire. This should significantly increase our prosperity, and as the people move in, we'll get the people working in culture buildings, and that should lead us to victory. We just need that prosperity. Come on, we can do it, we can do it. There we go, 5,000 population. Citizens, welcome to Lugdunum. Now, that we're at 5,000 population, favor and peace is doing alright as well. Prosperity says it's still rising, so let's just go straight into the next year to make sure that it does reach what it needs to be. There's November, there's December, and 46 becomes 48. Ooh, we're just slightly behind. So now all we have to do is reduce these tents. See these poor people? We don't need to make our housing better. We need to kick out the remaining poor people. So first, let's get rid of all of these small one-by-one houses that are unnecessary. We just need one, really. We don't need two. So let's clear that, let's clear that. We don't need this one either, because there's better houses down the line. We don't need these tents either. We can clear that off, we can clear that off, and one of those, yes, perfect. We don't need this one, so we can keep that clear. We don't need this one, we can keep that clear. Do we need this? I don't think we need that. We only need one there. We don't need two here. Some houses here did not evolve, so let's clear those out. There we go, reducing the number of poor people we are. We can also convert these 2x2 tents into more 1x1 tents, because that's all we need, right? We don't need that many. And this should increase our overall housing capabilities in terms of quality, overall quality of housing. I think over here we also don't need this many either, so let's clear that off. Okay, so now with the excess in population, we can just go ahead and increase our culture. So let's sort education first, do what we did before. We can do that and then throw down a number of libraries. Very good, and then we can keep the theaters going. Very nice. And then amphitheaters, we cleared out all these people, so we can just have amphitheaters here. There we go. using up all our remaining employees. Make sure everyone is working. Okay, so now if we speed things along, you can see I managed to get that back up to Grand Insula. If that was a villa like the others, we wouldn't have to kick out the poor people, but, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Okay, prosperity is where it needs to be. So that means we just need to boost culture. Let's have a look at our culture ratings. It says poor for academies. So let's just make sure all the education, health and education is prioritized. And that should be good. We have enough people there. Let's throw down academies. Academies will get things working, get our culture up very nicely. There we go. And what else is lacking in education? It says average. What else? Poor for Colosseum, theaters. I think, yeah, some schools and libraries should do it. Yes, there we go. Couple libraries. A few more schools, I think. That should get us to where we need to be. 61 out of 65. Is that... Oh, 63 out of 65? Okay, fine. What else do you need? Very good, excellent, perfect. Few more schools, I think. There's a lot of uneducated children in this city. There we go. That should do it. And victory. Caesar has promoted you to the rank of Edile. Ah... And there you have it, victory on the infamous Lugdunum, and we barely even broke a sweat. Maybe that's because of the northern terrain, and there's no risk of fire? Either way, I have descended, and you now have the secret of city building fire. So go forth and burn the world of Caesar III yourself. You'll be a deity in no time. Thank you to all the Zachylites who have joined us as YouTube members, patrons, or Twitch subscribers. You're the citizens to my cities. And if you want to see more amazing content, then I'm sure you'll enjoy these videos right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.